Hi, my name is Jeff Pagano, and welcome to the Harpin on Rugby preview show on our YouTube channel. Please be sure to hit that like and or subscribe button if you can. Join me this week is someone back earning Harpin cap number 134. Hello to Mr. Neil Keego Keegan.
How are we? It is good to talk to you. And just to let everyone know, the only way I can get into the Aviva for an Ireland match is when I use a virtual background. But yes, hope all is well. I'm a bit good at the Six Nations is over this weekend.
Careful, they might hear you and start charging you for using it as a background. But yeah, no, you're right. It's been a great competition. And while we're talking about that, maybe get your thoughts on the tournament so far. It's been there's been some interesting results.
Yeah, it's been you can't take your eyes off it, which is great. But in terms of the green jersey, I think what we've learned is that it's going well, and I think people overreact and underreact to different things all the way through. So in Paris, tough start. You're literally fingertips away and 2.2 point percentage points up on aggression, and we're back in that game. Not a big deal, not the best start, but we started coming into the tournament. Twickenham was obviously a high. That's partly going in against the Old English in their back garden is always going to bring us up a little bit. We've been consistent. There's I think 11 new caps, 33 players selected. Going in, we were told that Farrell is selecting the same old people. The team is too old. We're not blooding new players. Like it's always something. So I think if we try and I think what we've learned is to try and remain relaxed. Discoveries, Balakoon, Osborne. When Jimmy Lowe came on, he played like it was his first cap. When Van der Fleer came back on, played like it's his first cap. Conan is the most consistent player in Irish rugby. Like all of this stuff is so positive. So I think coming into this weekend, we have a shot at a medal. Not a bad result considering the start we had in Paris.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, the reactions have been kind of extreme, to say the
Mm.
least. I mean, we look back to 2023, we won a Grand Slam, amazing season. But I mean, did that really set the bar? Did that mean we're the best ever? We have to win all games? Or did it just mean we're up there with the best and we're competing with them and we're going to win some, we're going to lose some? And once we stay up there, and obviously, France was a disappointment to kick off the tournament. It was always going to be a difficult game. It was about how we reacted from that. I think the performance in Twickenham showed what we
Yeah.
can do. And we are, like we say, we with the chance of a triple crown and a title. So we'll see how we crack on. Well, let's look at that feature match of the week now, which is, of course, Ireland v Scotland in round 5 of the 2026 Guinness Six Nations. It's taking place at the Aviva Stadium on Super Saturday, March the 14th, kicking off at 2:10 p.m. with TV coverage on Virgin Media 1. Ireland named their match day squad on Thursday afternoon. If you're watching on YouTube, it should be right there on the screen, or for pod listeners, it's in the program notes. Keego's picked out some points from this Irish starting lineup, starting with a couple of names that are impressing him, and good to see in the
Yeah,
squad.
100% delighted to see Bundy back. I think he's got a raw deal towards just as we came into the Six Nations. It's great to see him back in. I do think sometimes we need that kind of thing on the bench. I know McCluskey is nailed on, put his name on the back of the jersey, but having Bundy there as a backup is a beautiful thing. Delighted Frawley is getting credit back in the bank as well. Um, you know, the we keep forgetting with our short-term memory the drop goals for Leinster, drop goals for Ireland to win a series and to lose a game, but high pressure situations that we learn from. So delighted that he seems to be consistently in there, at least at number 23. Gutted for James Ryan. I think from the go supermaning into certain contacts recently, he has really steadied the game between his ears and has been irreplaceable. So all these type of things, I'm happy and sad to see, but great to see Murray on the bench. Murray, sorry, I believe is how we're supposed to say his name on the bench. Great trust shown in him. Another new cap. But Jeannie Mac, I'm really, really positive going into this game because Scotland are like this. And I feel the thing we've got to remember when we talk about our 10 debate, which is a bit silly, but we've got to remember Finn Russell has about 12 years on both of those players. All of our bank of tens that we would like to see. And we forget what Finn Russell, who is fantastic now, we forget what he was like 10 years ago. It wasn't always this Finn Russell. I know the world is only 10 minutes old to most people, but we remember Finn Russell flinging passes all over the place. It takes time to get to where he is. And I think, with Crowley in the seat there, we need to see him just take the game by the scruff of the neck and really put a shift in. But happy to see the players in there. Good for James Ryan. I'm very excited.
Yeah, it's James had a calf issue apparently in
Mm.
training that ruled him out. But like you say, it's another chance to bring up someone into the squad, give us some experience. Dara Murray, as you say, coming in at 19. Yeah, no, we were hoping for not too many changes from
Mhm.
the Welsh game just to keep some consistency. Tommy O'Brien coming in for Jacob Stockdale. That's definitely an either or. But the fact remains, I mean, as good and all as Stockdale is, Tommy and Rob Balaku,
Yeah.
they worked really well together at Twickenham when they were forced to play together, and they look really good. So it's good to see them back. Dan Sheehan was probably always going to come back in at number two. So Jack Conan, like you say, how can you leave him out? No matter who's fit. We were saying in our pod last week that if Ryan Baird was fit, he may not be in the starting lineup at all to start the series. But when he does get a start, he reminds you that you're mad
Yeah.
never to drop him.
Like
So
the only issue with Conan is and the back row is where do you put everybody? Because
yeah,
like I know we tried to put Doris at 7, which I loved. I thought it was great. Really, really did some fantastic work there. But he's an 8. You know what I mean? When it's knockout, when it's a cup final, he's the 8. I think he operates the team really well from there. And then Van der Fleer, like people were wondering about Van der Fleer for a couple of games. All of a sudden, bang! You almost have forgot he's back in the game. And then Conan's sitting there going, "What do I have to do? I am anytime he goes near a rugby pitch, he's the player of the match. What more does he have to do?" So it's a tricky one because you're almost taking Conan out of his best position to put him at 6. Obviously, if Baird is fit, he's the 6 because he's that player. Whereas Conan isn't necessarily that player. He's a 7 or an 8. So like you got to get him on the pitch. Where do you put all these players? Do we play him on the wing? You know what I mean? Like, what are we doing?
you do a job out there anyway.
Yeah.
We know that for sure. Yeah. But no, yeah, no, it's an interesting 23. Like you say, on the bench,
Yeah.
there's some interesting names there. Timoney, Murray, Frawley, all looking to prove. Casey, all looking to prove. And of course, Bundyaki coming in to make his, like you say, make his debut for this season. But we all know what he can bring. So hopefully we're not going to need the bench. I think that's kind of going to be the focus of this team. But there's definitely a lot of names there that can make an impact if required. Okay. Well, let's now take a quick look at our opponents, Scotland. They are, of course, still riding the crest of a wave from that amazing demolition of France last week. But even from within that match, the late rally by the visitors served as a reminder that that Scots' form can fluctuate, as Keego said. Their last win over Ireland was in 2017, and they haven't won in Dublin since the late Dan Parks penalty took the spoils at Croke Park in 2010. But that could only make them more determined on Saturday, especially with a Triple Crown and possibly even a championship on the line, Keego.
100%. And like I hate when you hear stats like that because we're usually on the other end of it. Not they haven't had a win in 11 years or whatever. Usually it's us chasing, and we've been there, and we know what happens once you break that duck. But I think you look at the job Stain did for them last week. You look at the job their second row did last week, which I think are they both injured this week? I only caught the end of it. That's an issue for them because the shift the lads did last week was unbelievable. I thought Stain might have sustained an injury as well, but he seems to be back ready to rock. And listen, their 9 and 10 are lethal. They don't even have to think about it, which is kind of the beauty of not changing things is that they can think for each other. They know exactly where people are going. It used to be, as we said earlier on, Finn Russell, what's he going to do? Let's just put someone on his left and right shoulder and see what happens. Whereas now it seems the 9, 10, 12 and 13 know exactly what's going on. So it's really impressive to watch when it's running right. They're going to come up. They're going to be aggressive. They're going to do exactly the same thing they did to France last week, or they're going to try and do it, which is great. They gave everyone the blueprint. They're going to try and rattle our number 10 like they rattled DuPont last week, and maybe that's off the field stuff that's getting between his ears. But I think, they're not here to play around. But I think the beautiful thing coming out of our camp is there's a lot of discussion about what we are going to do. It's not about negating somebody else. It's about us putting our game out there. And I think that's a healthier way for us as humans and the rugby team in general to proceed. What are we going to do? It's not how are we going to stop Finn Russell. It's how is Jack Crowley going to get on the ball? And all that sort of stuff is a really positive way of thinking into the game.
Absolutely. And of course, as impressive and all as the Scottish backline is, it all depends on what kind of ball they get. So it's kind
Yeah.
of over to you, Tyg Byrne, over to you, Jack Conan, over to you, Kylan Doris, Joe McCarthy, Dan Sheehan. We've got a lot of names in that pack that can dominate and make the most out of home advantage and get on top and make sure that we spoil that ball and that they don't get the opportunities that they ended up that they amazingly ended up with against the French, because they can rack up a score if you let them. And it's like you say, it's all on our side of the ball and what we do. But now let's have a look at the officials. And Luke Pierce is holding the whistle there. A lot of different countries represented in the officials there. The weather, our good old friend, I think we've seen all four seasons, plus a couple of new ones the past week. So we take this with a pinch of salt. Saturday afternoon, 10 degrees, so mild enough. Occasional rain and drizzle. Looks like it's going to be windy, 60% chance of rain. Take from that whatever you will. Just bring all sorts if you're going
Bring
to
all
the
the clothes, yeah.
That's everything. Bring it all. And but now it's time to have a quick look at the other matches this weekend. Now there's a few URC matches as well in there, as well as the Six Nations, the end of the Six Nations. So what games stand out for you?
Well, look, I'm going to commandeer the telly for Super Saturday. So you know what I mean? I'm not thinking about winning a tournament. I'm just thinking about what could happen to deal with our game. But France and England, I'm going to watch guilt-free just for enjoyment purposes. It's going to be interesting to see how, because the old phrase, the French don't like it up them. They didn't enjoy last week at all. And it was Scotland kind of gassing out a little bit towards the end because of the work they did that brought France back in. I don't think France did anything spectacular to come back into the game. They just saw tired bodies. And England are stubborn. Their ego has been dented horrifically during this competition. And I think, all of those kind of what the chickens have come home to roost. How do they navigate this? Because forget about the coach and all that sort of stuff. The players are probably not going to change for the next 2 years, next 18 months. So they have to figure out how to play in that jersey, how they play together. Are they going to be stubborn and kind of just play spoilers? Because the English would love to hang on to that. They would love to say into the next tournament, into the summer, the July competition, we spoiled it for you, France. So these kind of things, can the French navigate bad times between the years? It's not all going to be easy. And can England find a way to just be complete spoilers so that we'll never hear the end of it? So that's going to be the interesting thing to watch at 8 on Saturday.
Absolutely. And when it comes to commandeering the telly, just to let you know that the fixtures for next year are out as well. So you can book in advance, maybe get your spoke in for next season as well. Yeah, some interesting
Valentine's Day in Rome next year now. All the dads
out there, you go.
Husbands, maybe start the credit union accounts.
You never know. Now, there's some other matches as well, like we say in the URC, and Irish provinces involved. Connacht and Ulster. Connacht hosts the Scarlets, and Ulster go to Edinburgh on Friday evening. So that'll be key matches there. Plus, the Stormers play the Bulls in a South African big derby match. I think it's a North-South derby. That's a big deal in South Africa. So it's a great setup. We've got the Bulls, the Stormers. We've got the three Six Nations matches seeing out the day. And then, of course, on Sunday evening, we've got the Wolf Puppies as well, the under-20s, also playing Scotland. So a full-on weekend there to look forward to. Okay, so back to our feature match. 10 on the block time, Keego. How do you see it going in D4 on Saturday?
I think we'll rattle them. I think, it's not going to be a massive score, but I think it's one score. I think we will be the ones tackling at the end of the game. I think we will be the ones in their half in the end of the game. And so I think it's 7 to 10 points for Ireland.
Yeah, we can't let what Scotland did to France be our benchmark. We have to play our game. And I still think myself and Tom were talking last week how just because Jack Conan's try was disallowed and we didn't get that second try, if we'd gotten that second try early against Wales, we would have settled, maybe gotten a bigger score, but we changed the way we were playing. Don't want to be doing that. I think we need to stick the way we play and persevere and let the tries come, and obviously minding the discipline as well. And I think that'll be key. But yes, I do think we can rack up a score that we can defend and maybe bring home. That will be the plan. But listen, we talk about championships and that we want to see what happens, France, England. My thing is, hey, a triple crown in second place after the way this competition started, I would definitely take that all day long. So fingers crossed. Okay, listen, we're going to leave it there, man. What stand-up gigs have you got coming up?
So we're rolling into the opening of McSorley's Comedy Club at the end of this month with Eric Lawler and Owen McLove is in there. Then we're into the Mill Theatre early in April. Eric Lawler is coming in there again. And then heading into the Maynooth Comedy Festival on the 25th of April. where I'm part of a show called the Bald, the Blonde, and the Brunette. So you know which one I am. Just stories about the world from different angles. And then every Thursday
Nice.
on Freedom FM, 9 to 11, we blast a few '90s hits. So we're nice and busy.
Excellent. And of course, you'll find all the links to that in the program notes. Okay, listen, thanks again for joining us, sir. Hope to have you on again soon.
Cheers. Have a great weekend.
And thanks to you all for checking out our latest preview show. Be sure to enjoy the match wherever you are. Be sure to leave your thoughts on our Facebook page after the full-time whistle, and look out for that Rap Pod recording on Sunday evening. Hopefully you'll help us out by liking, sharing, and subscribing. In the meantime, stay safe, everyone. Slán.